Kitchen Unlocked. Here, everything is made by kids just for you guys, like vlogs, crafts, skits, magic tricks, and we also made our scripts, our logo, music, segments, and more, which is really cool. We have two groups, the juniors and the seniors. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Epic Generation, follow all our social medias, and don't forget to go on our website, epicgeneration.ca. Now let's get started.
Hey Epic Generation kids, it's Philippines Heritage Month. So today I'll be dancing Pandango sa Ilaw. I'm proud to be Pinoy.
Hey Epic Generation kids, it's me Marco, and since Filipino Heritage Month, I'm going to be talking about Barong Tagalog, which is a famous Filipino clothing. Come on, let's go! Barong Tagalog is a long-sleeve formal shirt for men and a national dress of the Philippines. It is a common formal attire and a common wedding attire in the Filipino culture. Barong Tagalog combines elements from both Spanish and Filipino clothing styles. It is traditionally made with sheer textiles woven from piña or abaca. It is worn untucked and over an undershirt with belted trousers and dress shoes. And that's it for Barong Tagalog. Hope you enjoyed. Bye!
Hi, it's Emma. Today I'll be making cochinta, a famous Filipino traditional snack. This ready mix of gualinco syrup Pinoy will take all the trouble of tiring preparations. So quick and easy to make that each day can be a fiesta. The back of this Filipino native cake ready mix will show us how it is made. First, we have to fill the steamer with water and bring it to full boil. Secondly, in a bowl, I dissolve the gualinco cochinta ready mix completely in 1 cup of water. After, I pour the mixture into the molds, then place them in the steamer for 30 minutes. After we took them out and let them cool completely, then it was ready to go. Here is the finished cochinta. Bye!
The first thing we're gonna do is combine all our dry ingredients. Get your all-purpose flour, your bread flour, sugar, salt, and baking soda, and mix them together. The next thing we're gonna do is get some more milk, and we're gonna add some yeast and sugar. Now with the yeast, we're gonna mix it a bit, and we're gonna wait for it to foam up. To form our dough, we're gonna add our dry ingredients and wet ingredients. We're also gonna add some melted butter, oil, and 1 egg.
All our ingredients combined, we're going to use our bread machine and let that mix. If you don't have a bread machine, you can always use a spatula to mix it. After when it's done mixing, just let it rest for 1 hour. The dough doubled its size, I'm just going to start kneading it. Now I'm going to start cutting my dough and form them into small balls. Once you're done forming the balls, you want to cover them up with a bit of butter. Then you want to cover them up in breadcrumbs. Now we're going to bake them for about 15 minutes. Here's how the pandesal turned out like. It's very delicious, and it's more delicious fresh out of the oven. What a nice day it is outside today. What's wrong? There's a freaking monkey in my tree. That? No, silly. That's a tarsier. Oh, what? What's a tarsier? A tarsier is an animal only found in the Philippines with big eyes. It is also part lemur and part monkey. Interesting. I don't quite remember asking though.
What's a tarsier?
Why is it staring at me? It's just staring at you because you're in its territory. How is it the monkey's territory? Isn't it my house? If you want the tarsier to stop staring at you, you simply must stop shouting and stare at it right in the eye to comfort it. Okay then. Wow! It actually worked! I told you so! Isn't it so adorable? You know what? I think I'm gonna go pet it. No, don't! Huh? Why not? Because tarsiers tend to get frightened when touched by a human, and then they could possibly die. Well, that's not good. Why did they do that? Well, tarsiers naturally get frightened just like we would get frightened if we see a ghost. Except tarsiers start to lose their breath and slowly die. Wow, thanks for telling me. That tarsier could have been dead. Oh, wait, 1 second. My Aunt Sally's calling me. I gotta take this. Huh? Sorry, I can't seem to find where that is on the script. Thanks, Epic Gen Unlock Kids, for watching my Filipino heritage skit on tarsiers. Bye! Wait, there are people watching me? Yeah, right there.
It's the month of June, and we all know what that means. It's Philippine Heritage Month. But did you know that it is also the month of the pearl? Pearls are round, hard objects found in oysters. One pearl can sell for thousands or even millions of dollars. Actually, back in February, I got to see the world's largest pearl, also known as a Giga Pearl, at the Canadian International Auto Show. Let me tell you, it was an amazing experience being able to look at the pearl in person, let alone touch it. The Giga Pearl was discovered by a fisherman in the Philippines and is now owned by Mr. Abraham Reyes. The Giga Pearl has a value of 90 million American dollars. That is the equivalent to 4.5 billion Philippine pesos. With that money, you can buy an airplane. Fun fact, did you know that on the back side of the 1,000 Philippine peso bill, there is an image of a South Sea pearl? South Sea pearls can be found along the coast of the Philippines and other countries in the South Pacific Ocean.
Okay. Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about the Philippines. First one is this. A Bahay Kubo, or we could call it a nipa hut, an old house and indigenous to the culture of the Philippines. Next one is this, a carabao. A carabao is a swamp type water buffalo and a national animal in the Philippines. Next one is this, a kalesa, a two-wheeled horse-drawn carrier and an old transportation in the Philippines. Next one is this, a jeepney, the most popular transportation in the Philippines. And finally, we have this, a banga. A banga is for cooking a long time ago, but now we have electricity, so we don't use these anymore. I hope you learned a lot about the Philippines. Bye!
Ako'y isang Pinoy, puso't diwa, ako po Do you know where we can see the Philippines national hero, our Bayani, not only in Lunita, but here also in Toronto? Tara, pasyal tayo. This is Dr. Who Serial, our Bayani. This is located in Airbells Park. Pilipinas, kung mahal, mabuhay!
Hi Bella, what have you seen in the Philippines?
I went to Cagayan, I went to Baguio, and Bichan.
What was your favorite thing to do in the Philippines?
Probably playing in the rain. I have played in the rain one time.
What games have you played?
Lubang Preso.
Can you speak Tagalog?
Like bakit?
Bakit?
Bakit means why? Salamat.
Salamat.
Salamat means thank you. Ayoko.
Ayoko.
Ayoko means I don't want.
Does the food in the Philippines taste different from the food in Canada?
Yeah. My dad, he gets a lot of vegetables and fruits and all that stuff. Sitaw, ampalaya, talong.
Do you like it in the Philippines?
I like it, but I want to go back to Canada.
Sipit na nilipit, pintong pila, hulas lang sa ng dapat. Sayang pula na puro pera, sayang puti, anong salit. Sa masakatuwang mga sa sukang mga kaya. Ten sa ten, tulong ang asin, hawag ka na ba batutin? Sipit na nilipit, Lumulastag sa hangin ng dagat.
Hi guys! I'm wearing a traditional Filipino gown called Philippine or Maria Clara. My grandma made this when I joined a beauty pageant last year. For my talent at the pageant, I sing an English song. But today, I'm going to sing a Tagalog song entitled Bahay Kubo. Bahay kubo, kahit kunti ang halaman doon ay sari-sari, singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani, kundo, patola, upot, kalabasa, at saka meron pa labanos, mustasa, sabuyas, kamatis, bawang at luya. Sa paligid-ligid ay maraming linga. Sana'y nagustuhan po ninyo. Mabuhay! Is the pop, I put in the lock. It's the pop. Grab your key and put it in the lock. Boom, magic everywhere now. Hi, Miss Danny. Thank you for joining our meeting. And can you please tell us more about yourself?
I work mostly with the farmers in the Philippines. So what we do is we try to help them organize the food supply. Because, every one of us eats food, but we don't really know where this is coming from. So our advocacy is to let people know from the villages, that even kids like you guys, to get to know more about our farmers and what they're really doing on the ground.
What inspired you to make the new Bahay Kubo?
So I've been traveling for the last 3 years in different communities in the Philippines, from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And I have seen how many of our Filipinos actually don't focus on our very core industry, which is agriculture, or the industry that makes food. And so we wanted to bring back people into their provinces, into the areas that they were once were, and just really build this sense that, okay, when you grow your own food, you're going to be able to sustain yourself. And I personally have seen also the decline of the new generation of farmers. So the average age of our farmer is 67 years old. So imagine 20 years from now, who will be making our food in the Philippines. And that's one of our main motivation as to why we're trying to create a better house or a better community in the countryside. So people wouldn't resort to going to the city, because Manila is very crowded, Cebu is very crowded, even Iloilo, which is now a city, it's very crowded already. So we have to create job opportunities into the province, so people wouldn't have to go out of their area just to find a decent job. So that's our main reason, or my main inspiration as to why we designed the modern Bahay Kubo.
Can you tell us the parts of the Bahay Kubo?
Okay, so there are actually 3 important parts into the Bahay Kubo, and the 21st Bahay Kubo, because we pretty much just copy the concept of the old Bahay Kubo into the 21st Bahay Kubo. The first part is called the silong. So that's what we were talking about a while ago. There's extra space beneath the house. So there's an elevation or a space that's for working. So that is also a place for gathering. That's why it's called silong. So people go there in the Philippines now. When you say silong, it's a place you go to when it's raining, or you have to go silong in one place so you won't get wet. But actually, the silong, the idea of silong is where people gather when they're tired from work, where families eat together, where the chickens thrive, and where you can actually have a little of planting underneath. So that's the first part of the Bahay Kubo. Second is the bulwagan. So The bulwagan is the space where you can actually live. So when you look at the Bahay Kubo design before, there's not really much division because Filipino values, we're very open. We don't really have that, okay, I have to lock myself in my room, because the families back then really enjoy their time with one another. So, and when you look into the house design that we have now, the condominiums, the small spaces, they're actually not good for our mental health, because isolation can lead to mental health sickness. So when we create the modern Bahay Kubo, we take into consideration the social interaction that they're going to have, the family time that we want them to be spending with, because we believe that this should be part of the design of a house. So next will be the bubong. So actually, during the usual Bahay Kubo that we have, we made use of our national leaf. Do you know our national leaf? It's the anahaw. So what's good with anahaw is that it expands when it's hot, and then it closes up when it's cold. So you can see like the Bahay Kubo, when it's hot in the afternoon, it actually gives cold air. And then when it's cold, it's gonna let out the heat that it's stored. So that's the science or the ingenious behind the anahaw. So that's the same thing that we're making for the 21st Bahay Kubo. But instead of using anahaw, we're using a certain type of fruit that adjusts to the temperature and doesn't make it really, really hot inside. So, that it's very hot in this country, so we have to really take into consideration the insulation or how the heat goes into the house. So those are the three parts of the Bahay Kubo: the silong, the bulwagan, and the bubong.